And finally, for the 2016 NoDQ.com Hall of Fame, we have non-wrestler, which is anybody who's not a wrestler. This would be an official, a referee, an announcer, a production person. The 6 candidates are Paul Heyman, Jim Ross, Vince McMahon, the boss himself, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jim Johnston, the guy who was responsible for a lot of the classic WWE theme songs, and the late, great Paul Bearer.
Such a hard group for me to vote for a lot of reasons, because my original pick I sent to the form you had on the website for nominations was JR. JR, from the moment I turned on WCW in 1991, Jim Ross has been the best announcer I ever heard. Period.
I agree.
He was great then. He's still great now. And it's 2016. He's been doing this longer than, I've been alive pretty much.
Yeah.
When you think about mainstream. But God, Paul Bearer, Percy was a great friend, a great man, and probably not the greatest manager I saw live, but the most entertaining manager I ever saw live and met in person. But with this group that you have right here, it's definitely a neck and neck between the boss and Paul Heyman. Vince McMahon is wrestling. I don't care what anybody from any other company says. When you look at the history of professional wrestling, the name at the top of the list is going to be Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's just the way it's going to be. However, Paul Heyman forced Vince McMahon to change his approach. So it really is going to come down to one of those two, I think, in this category.
Yeah, well, I mean, Vince does not want to go into the WWE Hall of Fame while he's alive, and that's totally understandable. He's humble in that way. But I say this is the NoDQ.com Hall of Fame, and I think Vince is the man. Vince has to be in it, and he would be my first choice for the non-wrestler category. I think to kick off the NoDQ.com Hall of Fame, you have to have the captain of the ship in the class. So my pick is Vince. As much as I love all 6 people here, I got to go with Vince McMahon as my top choice.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
No, you go ahead.
I have a quick question for you, boss. If it comes down to a complete legitimate tie, what does the executive committee of the NoDQ Hall of Fame have to do to break the tie?
We keep voting until the tie is broken. That's what we do with the NoDQ.com year-end awards. If it's a dead heat, I'll just post something on Facebook and Twitter saying we need more votes. We need to break the tie. Okay. And then there's a certain deadline, and whoever has the most votes when the deadline happens, that's the winner. That's how we're doing it.
Very good. Very good.
And if need be, I'll make the executive decision, I guess, if I had to come down to that moment where I had to make a decision. But, hopefully, we'll have decisive winners for all these polls. So that'll wrap it up for the 2016 NoDQ.com Hall of Fame predictions and nominations. So keep the votes coming in all through the month of November. You can vote, and I will officially announce the results on December 1st, and then December 2nd is when you can start voting for the NoDQ.com year-end awards, which, Jeff, you and I will be also discussing later in November, and we'll have the videos up for that.
I look forward to it.
All right, thank you for being on today, Jeff, and
yes, sir.
Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. We will see you next time.